Hi everyone, it's Ben from Trekitt and we're out here with Harry behind the camera as always on Hargis Ridge, which is a beautiful part of the world that straddles the border between England and Wales and also forms part of the Offa's Dyke footpath, which is a little bit further up that way. And in today's video we're going to give you a bit of an inside look into the Montane Dyno XT softshell jacket. So over the course of this video we'll go through its features, its fit, just generally what we think of it and what we think it can be used for. So stay tuned and see what we think of this jacket. So first off, what is the Dyno XT? Well, the Dyno XT is a fairly heavy duty soft shell jacket from Montane. It's designed to be really durable and has all the features that you'd expect from a soft shell jacket. So it's wind resistant, water resistant, really stretchy, and because it's designed for slightly colder conditions, it's a little bit thicker than some other soft shell jackets and also has a bit of a brushed lining on the back. So it's a little bit warmer on a day like today. You know, it's probably about 5-6 degrees out at the moment with a light breeze. And this jacket is just taking the edge off nicely. It's the sort of thing that you would use when you're out hiking, walking. Montane peg it a little bit more as something that you might use climbing or scrambling, but it's just a really versatile jacket that you sort of throw on and forget about regardless of the activities you're getting up to. So what's the Dyno XT made from? Well, the primary fabric on the Dyno XT is Montane's own Granite Stretch thermal fabric. So you might be aware of Granite Stretch more from Montane's trouser and legwear range, where it's used a little bit more down there because it's a little bit more durable, but still offers the same versatility you expect with a soft shell fabric. So that stretch, that wind and water resistance, all of that fun stuff. So Montane using this on this jacket means that the jacket is a little bit tougher. So you feel nice and protected when you're out and about, especially if you are going to be potentially scrambling, doing a bit more where you might be brushing up against rock faces, things like that. So the extra protection afforded by this sort of tougher face fabric is really beneficial. There was also the thermal as part of the name there, which mainly refers to the overall weight of the fabric, but also the brushed lining. That brushed lining means that it's a little bit warmer for colder days like today. I've got a few layers on today and it's pretty toasty, all things considered. But that brush lining also helps wick away sweat. So if you are wearing this without those additional layers underneath, maybe when you're moving a little bit quicker or in slightly more autumn rather than winter conditions, then it helps wick sweat away and keeps it nice and comfortable next to skin. But this jacket is just really nicely fitted as well, which we'll go on to a little bit later on in the fit section. The only thing to mention with this jacket is it is a soft shell, so there is no membrane to it, which also means that it is wind and water resistant, not proof. So if the conditions aren't super wet and horrible, this might be the jacket for you, but as soon as it gets to the point where it's either really windy or it is raining very hard, you will want to put a shell over the top just to keep yourself nice and protected. Otherwise, the DWR treatment on the outside of this jacket will deal with light water, but it will penetrate the fabric eventually and you will get a bit soggy. So keep a shell handy if the weather's going to be a bit bad. So what are the features of the Dyno XT? As always, we'll start at the top and work our way down. It just makes a little bit more sense that way. So at the very top of the jacket, you obviously have the hood, which is helmet compatible. It's again a little nod to Montane using this jacket potentially for a little bit more of a scrambling / climbing piece. But the hood is also fully adjustable, so you can cinch it down to make it a little bit more head and hat compatible. If on a day like today, don't really need a helmet to go for a walk. Moving on down, you do have a little fleecy chin guard here, which is just a nice little quality of life feature, so you don't get that abrasion from the back of the zip if you're wearing it fully zipped up. And then past that, you then go into the pocket layout. So the Dyno XT has 4 zipped pockets, 2 up on the chest, which are both Napoleon style, and then 2 hand pockets. All use YKK zips. But the nice thing about them is Montane have laid out the pockets here so that they don't interfere with either a rucksack hip belt or a climbing harness. So you will be able to access the pockets and still use them if you are wearing a rucksack or climbing in the jacket. And that's just a really nice little nod again to the climbing background of this piece. But it also means that you can access the pockets if you are hiking with it as well. So it's quite that sort of multifunctional thing. Otherwise, you do then have a 2-way front zip. So the 2-way front zip goes 2 ways. Again, for using with a harness or for the cooler nature. It's just a feature I quite like on an outdoor jacket. It just makes it a little bit more versatile across the board. And then in terms of the otherwise adjustability, you have Velcro cuffs to help seal in the warmth a little bit, which is nice to seal around a glove cuff like I've done today. And you've also got adjustments on the bottom hem, so you can cinch in the jacket to seal in a little bit more warmth that way as well. So how does the Dyno XT fit? Well, the Dyno XT that I've got on here is in a size large. It uses Montane's active mountain fit, which in Montane's words is designed to fit a little bit closer to the body to end up being a little bit more practical for when you're being a little bit more active in the mountains, hence active mountain fit. In reality, what that means is it's effectively in a little bit more of a slim fit. So as I said, this is a size large and it fits me pretty well in the body, sort of over the chest and under the arms, across the back. For me, it is a little bit short though, but that is something that is more a me problem because I'm 6'3" and roughly 43.5 inch chest. And I struggle with a lot of jackets in terms of the length of the jacket. If you're a little bit more an average height or you've got a slightly shorter torso than me, you won't have any real issues with this jacket and with the fit of it. But it is something to bear in mind if you are a little bit taller, say sort of 6 foot plus, you might struggle a little bit with that. Otherwise, the fit, you do get articulated sleeves, so they move really well with you and you're not really going to notice as much hem lift when you are sort of reaching above you if you're using it for climbing. But otherwise, this is quite a well-fitting jacket. You will struggle to get many more layers on underneath. Today I've got a base layer and just a lightweight fleece on. If you're going to be wearing more insulation, you might have to size up from your normal size, but realistically this is more of an active piece, so you're likely going to throw layers on over the top when you stop rather than layers underneath it, but that's somewhat personal preference over the fit. How does it fit into the layering system? Well, as I mentioned in the last section on fit, the Dyno is designed primarily as your sort of mid-layer to outer layer. It's that sort of transitional jacket. In slightly more active use, you're probably going to be using it as your outer layer, so over something like I've got today, as I say, lightweight base layer and mid-layer. And then when conditions turn really foul, you're likely going to want to throw a shell or an insulation layer over the top of it. But a lot of the time you'll probably be using the Dyno XT without layers over the top and just relying on the soft shell for the wind and water resistance. It's only really if the weather turns foul that you will grab either a heavy insulation piece or that shell jacket to really seal in the warmth and keep the weather out. So that about wraps up the Dyno XT. If you'd like to let us know down in the comments what you think of the jacket or anything else you'd like to ask us or potentially future videos, we always appreciate a little bit of feedback. And we'd also like it if you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Harry will pop a link up on the screen. I think I'm pointing to the right side. Am I pointing to the right side? He's nodding. Harry will put a link up on screen now so you can find out a little bit more about the Dyno XT to shop the full range of sizes and colours. There'll be a link to our website there. I think that's it from me. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.